The time loop detective, solving crimes in endless cycles. The night was thick with fog, like a shroud drawn across the city's heart. The streets glistened with an unholy sheen, the moon hanging above like a witness to sins unseen. The detective stood alone in the darkness, the cold metal of his watch pressing against his wrist, a constant reminder of the loop he was trapped within. His name was Daniel Ashford, but that name had become a phantom, slipping through his fingers with each passing iteration. He was a prisoner, shackled not by iron, but by time itself. Time was his enemy, his burden, and yet his only hope. It began, as all things do, with a single, seemingly trivial event. A murder. A woman's life snuffed out in the blink of an eye, her blood staining the cold marble floor of a luxurious penthouse. No one knew her. No one cared. She was simply another body in a city that had long since stopped counting the dead. But for Ashford, she was the key. Her death would unlock the door to his escape, or so he believed foolishly at first. The first time the loop reset, he was unprepared. He had no idea what was happening. He had no memory of the events that had led him to this moment, no sense of how he had arrived at the scene of the crime. But as soon as he stepped inside the penthouse, the overwhelming sense of déjà vu hit him like a physical blow. He had been here before. He knew this place, this room, the scent of jasmine lingering in the air, the faint sound of distant traffic beyond the windows. It was all too familiar, as if the city itself had been carved into his soul. Then the body. The woman. She lay there, her eyes wide open in shock, her mouth frozen in a silent scream. A man's silhouette hovered over her, but when Ashford blinked, the image was gone, like smoke dissipating in the wind. He stepped closer, his heart pounding in his chest. The details, they were there, but not quite right. The woman's clothes, her hair, the way the light fell across her face, they shifted with every breath, every glance. The world was changing around him, like a living dream that refused to stay solid, slipping through his fingers. And then the loop reset. Again. The second time he knew. He knew what was coming, and yet he was powerless to stop it. The case was the same. The woman, the penthouse, the body. Nothing had changed, but everything had. Each time the loop began anew, there was something different. A clue here, a subtle shift there, a crack in the facade of reality that promised to reveal the truth, if only he could see it before the world shifted again. But no matter what he did, no matter how hard he tried, he was always one step behind. Always caught in the cycle, the never-ending march of time that threatened to consume him. He could feel it now, like the weight of an unseen hand pressing against his chest, suffocating him. He had to break free. He had to find the key, the moment, the choice that would change everything. As the third reset came, he stood still, his eyes scanning the room. The clues were there. They always were. The question was, could he put them together before the time came to an end? Or would he, like all the others before him, be doomed to repeat the cycle forever? The phone rang. The sound sliced through the air like a dagger, and for a moment, Ashford thought he might actually hear it ring forever. But then it stopped. The silence was worse than the sound, the heavy weight of it pressing in on him. He picked up the phone. A voice, cold and distant, echoed through the receiver. Detective Ashford, it said, the words dripping with an unnerving calm. You're closer than you think. But the clock is ticking. You must decide. Will you break the loop, or will you become part of the pattern forever? The voice hung in the air, the words lingering long after they had been spoken. He could feel the weight of the decision pressing down on him. He had to solve the case. He had to end the cycle. But there was something that gnawed at him from the depths of his mind. It was the woman. Her death wasn't just a random event. It was a signal, a message. And the truth was right there, waiting for him to see it. But what was it? What was the key? What was the one thing he had missed? He turned, his eyes scanning the room once more, looking for the answer, looking for the crack in reality that would lead him to freedom. The woman's eyes stared back at him, and for the first time, they weren't empty. They were filled with knowledge, with secrets, with a warning. And then, like the blink of an eye, everything changed again. The loop reset. Daniel Ashford stood at the edge of the precipice, the very edge of time, where the past and the future collided in an endless dance of confusion. Each time the loop reset, the city's skyline morphed before his eyes, flickering like a broken film reel, as if mocking him with its inability to remain fixed. The woman's death, the penthouse, the clues, they all remained unchanged, yet somehow, everything was different. He felt it in his bones, deep in his marrow, a sensation of wrongness, a gnawing at the edge of his mind that refused to be ignored. But what was it? What was the key to breaking the cycle? As the days, or was it minutes, hours, folded in upon themselves, Ashford found himself drowning in the endless repetitions. Each reset brought new questions. A subtle shift in the air, a change in the angle of the light, the expression on the woman's face. And with each change his frustration grew. He had become a prisoner of time, shackled not by chains of steel but by the inescapable pull of repetition. It wasn't until the 10th reset that something deep within clicked. He entered the penthouse once again, the familiar chill creeping across his skin like a cold whisper from a forgotten past. The body was there as it always was, but this time, something else was different. The woman's lifeless eyes were no longer vacant. They were watching him. There was recognition there, as if she had seen him too in the countless loops before. It was as if she was trying to tell him something, trying to point him toward the truth. Ashford leaned over the body, his fingers trembling as he traced the outline of her face, the coldness of her skin sending shivers up his spine. Her makeup was flawless, but beneath the surface, the truth began to emerge in layers, peeling away like the skin of an onion. He could see it now, the subtle sign that he had missed in every previous iteration. A scratch on her wrist, barely visible beneath the blood, was the key. A mark that was too precise to be an accident, too deliberate to be ignored. His heart skipped a beat as the realization hit him. The woman had been wearing a watch, a unique timepiece that was now missing. The watch wasn't just a symbol of luxury, it was a clue. A message. And it had to be connected to the loop. The voice on the phone had hinted at it, but it wasn't until now that Ashford understood. The timepiece wasn't just an accessory, it was a mechanism. It held the power to control the loop, to break the cycle. But someone had taken it. Someone who knew its significance. Someone who wanted to keep Ashford trapped, locked in an eternal cycle of futile attempts and unfulfilled endings. He stormed through the penthouse, tearing apart the place with frantic urgency. There had to be a connection. There had to be something that would lead him to the person responsible. He opened drawer after drawer, searching through scattered papers, discarded receipts, and half-empty bottles of wine. But nothing. The watch was gone. His mind raced as he retraced his steps. Every case he had worked on, every puzzle he had solved, came rushing back to him. The answers had always been there, hidden in plain sight, just waiting for him to connect the dots. And now here, the final piece of the puzzle lay just beyond his reach. The phone rang again, cutting through the chaos of his thoughts. His pulse quickened as he reached for it, his fingers trembling with anticipation. "Detective Ashford," the voice said, cold and detached as it always had been. "You're getting closer. But you still don't see the full picture, do you?" Ashford's jaw tightened. He gripped the phone so hard his knuckles turned white. "The watch. You've been trying to figure out the mystery of the loop, but it's not the woman's death that matters. It's the timepiece. The watch. It holds the key to breaking the cycle. And you'll never find it if you keep searching for the wrong things." The voice paused as if savoring his frustration. "The watch is the key to breaking the cycle," the voice continued, its tone now dripping with an eerie calm. "But the question is, who has it now? Who else is caught in the loop with you?" And just like that, everything clicked into place. The woman was never the victim. She had been the trap. The clue he had missed, the watch, was never about her at all. It was about him. The loop wasn't just a punishment, it was a game. A game played by forces beyond his comprehension, forces that had been manipulating him all along. The woman's death, the missing watch, the shifting realities, they were all part of a larger plan, a cosmic design that Ashford was a pawn in. He had been searching for the wrong culprit, the wrong answer. The truth wasn't out there in the city or in the penthouse, it was within him. As the realization washed over him, the room shifted once more. The walls, the floor, the air around him seemed to pulse, as if the very fabric of reality was bending to his newfound understanding. The cycle wasn't something he had to solve, it was something he had to break. But breaking it wasn't easy. It required sacrifice. It required letting go of everything he had known, everything he had believed. And Ashford realized, with a cold clarity, that breaking the loop would mean losing himself in the process. The decision was his. The time was now. He stepped forward, his heart pounding in his chest as he reached out toward the missing timepiece. He could feel it now, the power of the loop, the force that had kept him trapped, slipping through his fingers. But as he closed his hand around the empty air, a voice, a whisper, floated through his mind. "Sometimes to break free you have to let go." With that, the loop shattered. Did Ashford truly break free, or was it all a part of the cycle's never-ending game? What do you think about the twists in the story? Leave a comment below, share your thoughts, and don't forget to like and share this story with your friends. Let's dive deeper into this mysterious world together. Your insights could be the key to unlocking the next twist.